Hey everyone, welcome to a new review. So I'm in this video gonna take the little Zoe to Zagreb from Zadar, which is around 300 kilometers, a little bit less. And it's summer temperatures outside, so we're gonna see with AC on, trying to drive 130, passing people 140 to see can we make it for a road trip, because this car's range is a little bit more than 300 kilometers, so I think we should be good. Maybe we'll do one stop for a quick charge. Okay, got the Zoe on, so AC is gonna be running the whole trip as mentioned. I'm gonna start. It's now 2 o'clock, almost 2:10. It's 40 degrees outside. Apparently the car was in the sun, so I think that the sensor thinks it's even more. It should be like 32 degrees today temperature. And we are at 100% of charge. So when I entered the car a minute ago, it says 319, but I think you should get it around 310 plus minus. The official is by VLTP 385, but it's completely unrealistic. We're probably gonna do one stop. So the current consumption was 16 kilowatts per 100 kilometers. We are spending 3 now. Usually car spends 1, but the AC is running, so. I realized that only the driver's window is fully automatic. This one you have to hold, and then the rear one goes all the way down, so that's good. So enough talking, let's start driving. So also I will punch in navigation Zadar, and I'm gonna say go. I'm not necessarily gonna follow its route to exit the city, but I want to see. So depending on the current charge, we should be able to make it to Zadar. Now if you see the map closely, we're exiting the blue area, which is by normal driving, but the echo should get us to Zadar. So in this trip I'll see if we can make it, but if I'm gonna cut it close, I don't want to get stranded on the road. I'm gonna stop in charge for 20 minutes, which is normal when you have an EV. Now I'm gonna be using the B mode. Now it currently says it's limited because the battery is full, but I'm gonna be driving in a B mode, so hopefully driving with one pedal for the most time and try to recuperate the most. Wow, almost got those pigeons. Now checking a better route planner app, you can see my route. So I'm using the highway as mentioned, driving 130 with the B mode to recuperate. Because of the terrain, I had to stop sooner than planned. Before this stop, probably in the middle, but I did manage to make it to Zadar. So this is I'm pre-recording the sound because the app doesn't record the sound, but this is definitely the range and approximately the time it took me to arrive at my destination with one quick stop charge. So really little waiting on the pay tools because it's season. Tourists are coming to Croatia, but we should be good after this. And my first EV range test has begun. So expecting a little traffic for the first few kilometers, and then the highway splits, so we should have less traffic. So I set the cruising speed to 130, and we're gonna keep it that way. I got the music on as well. Now so far we've done a few kilometers, and I gotta admit we're already at 92%, so the range seems to be dropping. It's a little anxious when you see percentage and the range, but I'm not gonna try to worry. But the current consumption on the side, on the right side, you can see is around 30. Now it's decreasing to 24. So if it sticks to 25, that'll be good, but 30 is a little bit high. We shouldn't have any wind, so it is a perfect day for an electric car because no headwind, so less resistance, less consumption. Now I gotta save these seats with a cloth in the rear. It's super hot, so I'm sweating here. Going uphill, we can see there's no wind. The power consumption increases to 40 kilowatts, which is really bad. And if you're going down, you almost lose, if it was the same steep down, you lose 20. Wow, now it's rising to 50. So our consumption went up almost by a kilowatt in average. It's probably going to be more than a kilowatt, around 17 by the end of the trip. Although we do have some downhill, we're mostly going uphill until coming to Velebit Mountain, where we're going to be going after a big tunnel downhill. Now you can see we're going downhill, almost the same steep, so we're getting around 20. It's kind of rising again, but dropping to 20, sometimes below 20 as well. Now for example, this is a nice downhill. Got 19 at some point, but slightly rising now. But I haven't found a steep enough part that's charging the battery. We're mostly just dropping in power consumption, but not charging. So for the reference, we passed Ogulin exit with 60% of battery. So we're at the tunnel, 50% of battery remaining, and we can see that the reach area has shrinked. So I was a little bit more optimistic before, but still think we should make it to the charging point. Now my plan was to charge up here at the end, but we're gonna charge up in the middle because I'm below 50% and I'm getting hungry, so I think I want to break. So that's why I'm gonna stop sooner than planned. But if you were be pushing to the charger on the bottom, there's no chargers between, so it would be cutting it close. But this way it's more comfortable, and I won't be hungry for another half an hour or a little bit more. We were at the charger. This is a 50 kilowatt. We're gonna charge up, and we're at 46. It was less now, but it's recalculating, as you can see. The parking sensor is beeping. So there's a lot of uphill going at this point, and a little further, and then it's slightly going like flat area and then downhill. So I was planning to charge at the end here, but I'll be cutting it close. So, and I'm really hungry, so I want to make a break here, and we'll then try to make it all the way to. So we started a charge. We're gonna stay here for maybe 15 minutes, take a bathroom break, get some coffee and some food. So this is a 50 kilowatt. This particular charger used to be free. Now you have to use an app just to enable free charging. It's not plug and play as it used to be. Now it's via app. Well, I got my coffee, I got my croissant, I got my hot dog, and Zoe's charging, and I already got the bathroom break. So with this charging station, you can see on your app, I recorded the end. I was taking maximum 37 kilowatts for the Zoe, and at 70% it was a max power, and towards 80 it would start dropping, but that was ideal for me. And 20 minutes I stayed a little bit longer because of wanted to have a little bit more charge when I arrived to Zadar. So as shown, we're at 70%. We're here for 20 minutes, pulling to 47 kilowatts maximum for Zoe. We're actually already at 71, so we're gonna unplug it and continue our trip. Before I disconnect, I just wanted to show you so that the blue area has now reached our destination, so we can without problem reach our destination. So we're at 72%. It require 45 minutes more to charge to 100%, but we don't need to charge to 100%. We can reach our destination. Now, in order to unlock the charging port, if it's locked, you need to press the unlock button on the key remote. Usually it unplugs it after you stop charging. Now it's interesting, I unplugged the car, and we have 175 kilometers to the charging station. So I don't know, this is like changing the range I guess when you put it to drive or reverse, it's gonna change. So it's a little bit funky, to be honest, but I'm learning as we go. Now just to show you now, the computer is recalculating the range, so it has increased the range. So I guess it does the math, your current speed, and when you start driving, then it does it on the way. It doesn't immediately tell you how much you can go. Passing 0 stops, so we're Mazzola, so 40% of the battery, almost 100 kilometers of range. We should make it to Zadar with no problem. Passing tunnel, Saint Rocco, so 30%. You can see on the map where we are. So with a current range of 76 kilometers, we should be cutting it close. And when I say close, I mean like getting there to 0%, because this is just barely to make it to Zadar. But I think I'm confident we're gonna make it. We have some downhill now, so we might have a lower consumption, because it's like a few kilometers now just going completely downhill. Now this is a nice downhill where we are actually pulling back energy into the battery, so increasing our range. So this should add up and just catch up with the loss that we made. And I don't know if you can see those wind turbines in the distance. Croatia has more than 70% of renewable energy, and that energy is being used exclusively to power electric cars. So only the renewable energy is being bought and supplied for the EVs. Oh, that's nice. We got more range now. But we're driving 100 because there's a speed limit here saying 80 because of constructions. But everyone's driving a lot faster. So we do have a tolerance as well. So I'm in that tolerance for the most part. So we can see we're charging back, and we actually increased the range. So we should be having enough power to get to our destination. Okay, just made it off the highway. We're at 23%. And we basically made it with a 19%. Let's just round it up at 20%. Zadar is just around that hill. So there you go. You can actually do it with no problem with a little Zoe round trip around 300 kilometers, give or take, with one short stop. Same as with your petrol or gas car. So basically it took us 3 hours and 20 minutes. That's the usual if you're driving 130 and a little bit 100. So washed out the Zoe and the trip is complete. I'm in Zadar, baby. And plenty of range for a city drive, and just to show you the sea.